everybody, it's Emily Dark Schooling, and today I'm going to be doing some 5-star predictions. I have never done a 5-star predictions video. I've always kind of wanted to avoid it because I'm so fickle. I don't know what I'm going to read and I don't know what I'm going to like, and so I've always avoided doing these, but I decided that in lieu of giving myself a list of books at the beginning of the year that I'm like, I'm going to read these, I would do a couple of 5-star predictions. And we'll see what happens. So today, my idea is that this is going to be for the first half of the year. So between now and like the end of June, I'm going to read these 5 books. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you whether they were really 5 stars or not. So these are like, I've been in the middle of like cataloging my home library, which is taking forever. And I've only done most of the books in like the living room and dining room areas. So like my rainbow shelf, and I've done like almost everything in this room. So it's been a lot. And in the process of that, I basically have to touch every single book I own, pull it out, scan it, and put it back. So it's helped me to purge some things. I filled like a box and a half of books. So yay for that. Oh, that did not make much room though. But that was the goal. But in the process, I kept like looking at books and going, I really want to read this. So these are 5 of the books that I'm like, I'm definitely going to try to get to this in the next like little bit. So without further ado, let's talk about what they are and why I think they're going to be 5 stars. The first book I have is Starfish by Akemi Don Bowman. I've heard several different people talk about this book and this author in particular as being like their absolute favorite author, and I've always wanted to read something by them. So I picked this one up specifically because of the cover. I was just really drawn to it. And the title too, but I think this book is one that I'm going to really like, and it's just been staring me down for a year. I think I've owned this about a year, at least, and so I really want to pick it up. All I really know about it is that it's about a girl who is half Japanese, and she lives with her mother who is white, and who is like trying to get rid of her Japaneseness, I guess. I've heard that it's very kind of heavy topic-wise, and I feel like this is a book I'm really gonna not enjoy, but like get a lot out of. So I've been really wanting to pick it up, and I think it's probably gonna be a 5-star read based on what I've heard and how other people talk about this author. The next book on my list is They Went Left by Monica Hesse. I really want to pick this up. I haven't read like a Holocaust book in a while, probably not since maybe the fall, which I know you're like, that's not that long, but you know, for me, it's a while. So I've been wanting to read this. This is, I believe it's about the aftermath of the Holocaust, and we're following this brother and sister who have survived, and they're trying to find their parents. They haven't seen them since they made it into the camps, and they only know that they were sent a different direction from them, and they don't know what happened. So this is probably going to make me cry, and I really, really want to read it, and I think I'm going to love it. This next book has been on my shelves the longest of the 5 books I'm talking about today. It's a book that I've had on a list of, this is a book I want to read this year for like the last 3 years, and I just never pick it up, and I don't know why that is. So I'm going to read it this year, and that is The Fair Fight by Anna Freeman. This book is like Victorian Fight Club with women, and it's supposed to be great. I've heard nothing but good things. This cover is great. I just really want to read it. It's a time period I love reading about. Its subject matter sounds great. I know I'm going to love this book. I don't know why I have waited this long to pick it up, but I have, so definitely going to make myself read this though. The next book on my list is one I've purchased fairly recently, and actually both of these are books that I've purchased fairly recently. I have Grass by Kum Suk Gendry Kim, maybe? I don't know. I am so bad with pronouncing names off the top of my head. But this is a book that I've been like so anxious to pick up because I know this is going to be a favorite for me. This is a story about comfort women in Korea during World War II. Basically, Japan invaded Korea and sort of forced them into servitude and tried to erase their Koreanness and make them Japanese, but never equal to Japanese. And a lot of the women were forced into sexual slavery as comfort women for the Japanese soldiers. And that is what this book is about. So it's going to be heavy, but I feel like this is a subject matter that I've sought out to read more of because I've read a lot about World War II that involves Germany and like what happened to Jews and that sort of thing. But I've been wanting to read more about Japan and what was going on over there because it was just bananas over there. Like it was equally as horrible as the Holocaust, but it's not as often written about, I feel. And so I've been wanting to read more. So I have this. It's a graphic novel, so I feel like it'll be a pretty quick read, but it's definitely going to be one that sticks with me for a while after reading it, I think. And I think it's going to be a 5-star. And the last book on my list today is one that I've been wanting to pick up for months and just haven't had a chance. And I don't want to put it off too long because it's a sequel and I don't want to forget the first book. And that is A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. I read An Absolutely Remarkable Thing probably 2 years ago now, I think. And I read it aloud with my twins and we loved it. And so I planned on this being another read aloud, but schedules have been wonky and it just never happened. And now I'm just like, forget it, I'm going to read it to myself. I've waited too long. So this is a sequel, like I said, and it's following April May, the protagonist from the first book. I can't really tell you too much because that would spoil the first book, but I think I'm going to love it. It's science fiction, but it's more like light science fiction, although this one might be more so. Again, can't really explain why. It's hard to talk about a sequel, but I have a feeling I'm going to love this. I loved the first book, and I think this will be just as great. I've heard so many people say they loved it even more than the first book, so I'm really excited to pick it up, and hopefully I'll do that soon. So, like I said, my plan is that I'm going to read these over the next few months. I'm filming this video as a way to like make myself do it, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about whether or not these books were actually 5 stars. And we'll see if my predictions are true. Have you guys read any of these books? Were they 5 stars for you? Don't spoil them, but let me know down below in the comments if you've read them, if you've loved them, which one I should pick up first. And we can chat about that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy reading. Bye.